say this.
I know. Coast is kind of... Obviously, it plays well to aggressive teams. It plays quite quick. It can play, as we said, violent. It's, you know, easy in a way to monitor some of the hold and rotations when you have your body set up in the right place on attack, so it does play well into the favors of attackers usually, but it's how it boils down on the day. How it shows up, and a team that might be having one great player on a heavier map can kind of lead behind that. They can kind of build behind it. On Coast, everyone is always on display. Everyone is always being pressured. Everyone is always having to show up. And I think that puts you in this kind of situation where it becomes very scrappy between all 10 players.
Just a bit worried here for Talon. You're thinking of Cloud9. You have Shao, you have Untitled, two really good fraggers that are, well, and have been able to really lead the charge for Cloud9 on these more aggressive-like maps. And we are going to Coastline. We do see the Melusi band that will be coming in right here. Jackal Ace. The Ace one is something that like stands to mind. It's not something we often see. A Heart Breach generally not used as much on Coastline. The one thing I would be thinking about is probably the quad wall on the bar.
It's
the
literally
room.
like quad wall or the one in VIP to open the angle towards.
Yeah, it's either.
But it's one or the other. It's like you kind of. And then otherwise, it's like, okay, sure, you know there's going to be some hard walls on the setup of kitchen, but usually there's rotations open on the side. Okay, sure, we might now find ourselves potentially playing master bedroom because Mirror's on the board, but only because Mirror's on the board. It's, I guess, this curiosity of, you know, sure, Ace is what was it? In EUL, it was about an 85% pick rate throughout the season.
Something like that, yeah.
It was very high.
It has been.
And removing him, removing those Selmas, removing the ability to throw those on and keep yourself in a better situation, in a better state of mind, it's good. But is it worth it?
We, in EUL, talking about it, we haven't even seen Coastline yet. It's a map that we, like, it's just not being played currently. I'm not quite sure with the APAC. Let me check. How often has it been played in APAC this season? I'm really curious because it is a map that is... I was kind of surprised on seeing it because I'm just not used to it anymore.
It's a pleasant surprise. I think it's because it's, you know, the meta that we're in is one that's very aggressive. It's very gun heavy.
It's doubling down, yeah.
And yeah, it's you kind of wanted something to like mitigate that. You wanted something to, I guess, pull that back, which is why we're seeing a lot of play of Villa this season. Huge amounts of play of Villa this season. At the same time, it's this idea of, okay, well, you know, what can we build up from this and how can we lean into this? You're looking at obviously just the defenders. They're on a back foot before. I think this season with this meta and how the drive is going, it's probably even tougher for them right now.
It is going to be a bit tougher, and this is actually the second time it has been played this season. Coastline, that is, and well, Talon clearly we're very comfortable with going back here. Oh, Claymore being disabled by the mute gemmer right there will have to be replaced.
That's a new trick.
It's a niche little thing. Sometimes I started noticing it out of nowhere. Oh, Harper already down though. That's just trying to just wall bang.
They have no idea though. That was he sprayed through, and Harper was the wrong place at the wrong time.
Gonna be helped up very quickly, and indeed, as you said, like they have no clue. They just pre-fire it for the sake of pre-firing. We'll be finding a lot of blood, of course, as soon as they do manage to get droning it out. So they'll figure out one of them is going to be low, but how much can you do with the information whilst we have the Lion, we have the Dokkaebi, very push-heavy setup coming down from Talon, really wanting to deal with these roamers quickly.
Grenade goes back deep against MV Taylor, is being pinched from a couple of different positions right now. They're well aware that they want to lock him down before they start their ingress onto the site itself. So they've set up some bodies, steadily pushing across the top towards the white stairs. You can see it's doubled down now with Nova coming up to offer some support. The first swing's going to come around the corner. It's so close in terms of the angles, and MV Taylor's actually said, well, actually, why are we taking this? Pull back. Pull away. They've set themselves up, rotate back round the opposite side and get ourselves underneath the site. We do not need to die here, and they're trying their hardest to make sure that happens. So it's just turned into a bit of a big blow for that time counter in the top center for Talon.
It is right. And if you look at the utility left for Cloud9, they have those two C4s available. They can use these vertically to go for a clear, to go for a planned denial. The one thing they have to worry about, though, is going to be Azzy that is holding that flank. It's something that we, well, know from him. He likes to do it a lot, sometimes gets put in these, well, unwinnable situations, which he somehow still manages to succeed in. But with 45 seconds left on that clock, Talon need to make a decision right now. What are we going for? Are we going for hookah? Are we going to go for billiards? Or are we just going to try and straight up frag out?
Yeah, not being able to catch those roamers has really cost them quite heavily, so it's turned into a bit of a heavy push now as they dedicate themselves across this aqua side with a couple of bodies steadily making their way up from 90. Angles are held, but the canisters, they've started to be popped, and you can see the caution that's being applied there from the approach, but look at this. Valkyrie on the roam around the back of luggage, 2 bodies dedicated and focused towards that default plant spot. They know where they want to stick it, they know what they're going to try, but they can't do it whilst those canisters are popping. There's the pickup on 1 on the rotation. There is 1 more. There is a cold diffuser, but why not get the last? Cloud9
Beautiful.
baited for time and played it to perfection.
Yeah, you saw Talon right there. You saw a little bit of the panic coming through. Lion deciding, all right, we need to get the diffuser down now. There's about 10 seconds. Let's just see if it will work or not. Losing most of his HP. Just sitting there in that toxic cloud. Having to run out again, only to be flanked by the Valkyrie coming up. And, well, that's a direct result of the fact that they didn't go for that full roam clear. We said it before. They are active on that bottom floor. It does seem like they're aware as the flanks are being held. But nothing was put in place to make sure that they were going to be able to deal with the actual roamers. The members rotated back up a little bit too early. No one was watching the white stairs, which is quite important in my opinion if you're going to be pushing for a aqua take. And yeah, like, of course the round was already lost as soon as, like, smoke canister started hitting, but the round was extra lost as soon as the Valkyrie was going to be able to come from the back.
Wow. You talk all about the possibility of aggression and how things can bring themselves to a quick punch here, but being unable to catch those 2 loose bodies really cost them in the grand scheme of things, and I'm curious to see what they determine is the adaptations that need to be made, because you think about what they had on board, pretty much everything you would want if you wanted to capitalize on the loose players that's allowed. Jackal is gone, sure, fine, but you're doubling down with Docker and Lion. You have everything within your power to get control of loose bodies. It's just that swing, that bit of caution cost them. Can they find a little bit more in the canisters before Cloud9 start to build momentum? Because sometimes you'll see C9, they'll see an opportunity and they'll go, we want a little bit more.
Be quickly highlighting the mirror windows there. That is considered the default rank strategy for the top floor nowadays. But the difference here being is that we're not actually playing for Penthouse. We're playing for the kitchen. And with that, they hope to try and deny some of the verticality that maybe Talon wants to try and approach for. But if the last round is any indicator, they'll just try and push onto the side at some point. And so far, if you're looking at the spread of the members, it doesn't really look like anybody is too interested in going over towards the bedroom. You have 2 people down on the main floor. Canna's now going up, I believe, towards the balcony. So they do decide, okay, we do need to take that top floor control, but as soon as they do, they will find out soon. Oh, there's 2 mirror windows here. How are we going to get rid of these?
Did say Mira, if she's on the board on Coastline, you'll see a lot more play of her over this position. She can be, and supposedly so, this is the map that she considers home. Comfortable, it's confident, it's a lockdown and extension around what is otherwise a very tight set of angles, and you can see that that has sort of stumped Talon now as they go for the rotate. The cools come out as static pressures back against the kitchen window. They're concerned of the run out from the split side towards the other side of Sunrise, but it's still more dancing, it's still more waiting to see if they can get a pinch or a pull on somebody. Soldier is steadily trying to make an ingress on the top floor and try and force some of those bodies back, maybe clear a bit of a pocket of space, but it's Envy Taylor that opens up against Aziz there as Harper finds 1 more, and that is all that attempt on the top floor gone.
And they have it. They only try and take care of the top floor control with about 1 minute 10 left, and that is not going to be working out, especially not with Envy Taylor right here behind the reception. Dropping out line, dropping down that diffuser with 50 seconds left. It's a 2 and 4 for Talon, and they have no top floor control. Another one will be taken out. Beautiful shot from NV Taylor. They're only leaving Canis now to try and, well, recover that diffuser, but a lot of pressure is being put down on him. Is maybe not even going to be able to cross this kitchen door for being shot. They have it already. Nova picks him up. I was already seeing it going. 3 guns pointed at that one door. There's no way that you're going to be able to escape that one.
I have a feeling NV Taylor is wanting to try and catch up with that first body on the board of stats overall for the season, as because he's putting in some work so far.
He is definitely putting in some work. And Cloud9, they're just taking their ones. They're winning the battles, you know. But the thing here being is that Talon is not really focusing their push onto the right place, I would say, or at least they might be, but they won't bring the right utility to do so if that's their plan. Because you saw like a heavy emphasis towards the lobby, 2 people out there, so a couple of people in front of service entrance door. But that was about it. Like, one person went upstairs, basically got killed, and we're like, okay, well, we cannot go there. Let's just try and push through the doors and then try and challenge the windows. But you're doing that against a team which has 5 insanely good players on the team. And they are going to be winning their ones. They are going to be happily taking them because they are so confident in their own doing. So Talon, they really need to stop just trying to force gunfights and start to force Cloud9 into mistakes. Push them out of the strongholds. Use that utility. Use your manpower, because if you were going to be challenging the one person up above, you would have free control on the top floor. You can easily kill him from the hallway, for example. And then you can start opening up these vertical holes. That would have allowed them to actually push for the side afterwards. But right now, they're just struggling for control and still trying to make the push happen. It's just not going to work like that.
2 kills over 2 rounds on the board. 1 in either has spelled a little bit of a start of disaster here, but Talon, well, they know that they can step themselves back up into this game quickly, getting themselves into a bit of a better position of safety as they start to drone out around the top above the sites itself. So far, we've seen them struggle to get the control around the site, and obviously the lock off and the failure of the verticalities before is going to be a different lesson played here as they quickly apply this pace, get themselves in and inundated in and amongst the defenders that have set themselves up as home on the top here. Those are little cheeky bullet hole angles. That's a drone, and that's a rotation out of there before they suffer the spray back. They realized they need to apply this pressure when they have the potential for it, and it seems like Talon are trying to dig themselves in to this C9 team.
Definitely Ars Harper's trying to fall back. Gets a call, will be rotating back into security. Of course, Soldier has the opportunity of opening up the hatch if he really wants to go for that chase, but unaware whether or not someone will be in luggage. Shal, again, with the entry frag from the balcony nonetheless. NV Taylor able to pick up one as well. There goes another. Shal able to pick up Azzy, but not going to be able to confirm as of yet. Soldier able to reply to him, and that is going to be leaving Talon in a 3-on-4 situation. Still heavily favored towards Cloud9, though.
Static with a deep angle, hoping somebody hops out over the other side so they can take the head off them as they take over the cameras. Bit of a rotations coming through. We can see that the Yellow is playing aggressive. Harper's waiting for an approach around via that entrance, but as NV Taylor gets shut down from the vertical hole that they just previously opened, I believe there is the pressure finally coming down onto the site itself. A 3 versus 3. You look at the potential in the pockets. We've got 3 canisters still in the hands of Nova, but also 2 frag grenades in Soldiers too, as well as the burns of the flashes if they need to try and get this close angle out, which is the pressure, is the default plant spot, and is being steadily made more and more of a problem by Soldiers' work above.
Soldier is very worried, though, for a potential flank coming up, where he's watching the cool vibe stairs literally every single time he does something. Oh, has to run because the magnet actually pulled the grenade to right underneath him, but he's going to be able to escape with it. Smoke canisters, however, now will be deployed. With 20 seconds left on that clock, Talon, what are you going to be doing? Where are you going to be entering from? The only option will be from the window on either of these bars.
Yeah, you can see they're setting themselves up to hop in on blue. They realize that they're not getting past those smoke canisters, especially with the sliver of health that is in the hands of Dockerby, who's going for the big distance on the opposite side of open. They need to clear this first frag before they can try and stick it behind it, but they can't quite get the angle on Harper. He's close. He's getting a double. There is a bit of revenge, but too little, too late. Cloud9 complete the 3-site rotation.
And it completed 3 sites in a row right here, meaning they're allowed to go back to their primary choice. This round was a little bit better from Talon, I dare to say. They went for top floor control first, flushed that roamer back towards the bottom floor. Yes, you lost some people, very unfortunate, due to, well, some angles being held. Some creative ones, that is. Who expects someone to be on the balcony, right? If you have one guy on the roof, you would have not been able to put up a single kill right there. Either way, at least we are going... No, we're not going to... We are going to a tactical timeout.
The tactical.
We are. And it's probably talents compared to
that. I mean,
the way it's going.
If I was to make a guess,
just an educated one.
Just an educated one. And okay, what we're seeing here from Talon is it's a little bit of caution, which is on their approach. They don't want to lose that first body. You can see that they're making sure that they measure up their control of the site. In the early round, in the first round, we saw them trying to get control of MV Taylor around lobby. There was 2 bodies. They had their support, but then they pulled back. They didn't push. They didn't swing, and they had the potential to. There was the body on the top of White Stairs. There was one on the sort of bathroom entrance. They were coming around from kitchen. They could have gone for a 2-body either side. They didn't want to risk it. They didn't want to risk losing it. The bodies were able to escape. The common thread here between that first round and the third round is there's so much time shepherding and trying to get control of the space that when they actually try and apply themselves to the site, there's still 3 smokes in the pocket of smoke. There's still a lot left to do, and it's really putting the pressure on them to land ones against a great team that are trying to just do the same.
The thing here is, right, Cyclops just won. They are now equaled up on points with Cloud9. And Cloud9 want to go into that matchup with the advantage. And you would be like, all right, but head-to-head is a thing. So, like, whoever wins is going to take it, right? But then I'm like, yes, but we do have overtime now. And if you go for an overtime win, that's only worth 2 points. So if Cloud9 is going to be able to take the win here, then they are going to be forcing Cyclops into winning within the 7 rounds, right? Within the original 12 rounds. And otherwise, Cloud9 is going to be taking that victory, taking the championship matchup against the #1 from APAC South. Either way, just quickly, a bit earlier on, you saw Black Eye being put down underneath the aquarium. Couldn't pick it up due to the hatch being opened up. Bit unfortunate, but still going to be giving some information. The question now, however, is what will Talon do? How are they going to be going for this approach? Are they going to be making sure that the bottom players are going to be removed? They already found out about one of them. Tomorrow's going to be trying to take care of him with some concussions, though.
There it is. There is that pressure that we wanted from them a little bit earlier. They are looking for blood, and they are trying to punish the loose play. MV Taylor is so low, and you can see the Talon bodies are wrapping their claws around either side of him. They have an idea on this Valkyrie rotation as well. They are cutting them off via the previous route that they took to make sure that there's nobody really comfortable. Nova, with a big camera, is playing the same game. It's I see you, you see me. Well, who's gonna win this? There's the 1, there's the 3, and there's a lot of bullets sprayed at thee, but both of us escape. Tiddle-dee-dee.
It's literally both are playing the same game right here, but look at Cloud9. 3 members currently are literally 1 bullet away from going into DBNO state or into just complete death. And well, this might be the best that Talon has been doing so far in terms of setting themselves up for success. All they need to do now is secure themselves some control to actually go for the execute. Oh, there we have it. Nova with the first one fully flashed will be able to take down Aze on the back of a ping potentially, but at least that is the man advantage going to be for Cloud9, and that is going to be helping them, even though that they are going to be low on HP as Canis drops now as well.
Minute on now, and you look at the health of C9. Sure, they've been able to pull 2 bodies apart, but they are scrapped and scratched, and they're going to put them in a tricky situation, especially with the possibility of those grenades that we've seen played a little bit, but we haven't seen, you know, the full potential of frags on this map. Nova underneath with a C4, though. They could drop this body as soon as they get the idea that they're pushing on default. You know that'll get spread through. Doesn't quite catch them in time. They push deep. They find one. They find the swing, but That's only a drop. It's a technical 1 versus 3. They're concerned of somebody picking them up. Now they've been able to balance it back. 20 seconds. Hello there. Someone on the close angle. There's one more. Sprayed towards them, trying to find the ace to lock it off. Valkyrie coming up. Cool vibes. They can try and stick it at this moment in time. They're running low on options. They might not know that MV Taylor is down. It's all down to Valkyrie. Missed that they went off on the opposite side. They have time to pick them up. They are concerned of the possibility of the angle swung here. They know that the dance is coming through, but Nova is the one that lights it up. Enough time to pick up MV Taylor. Pad the stats. You can see he's laughing about that fact in the cams. 4-0 for Cloud9. There's the diffuser.
Just imagine it was a Claymore being put down. You don't know, right? Okay, please don't shoot it. They're just having fun right there, the likes of Cloud9. You see the smiles on their faces. They managed to make the clutch stick right there. Good shot coming through. It was almost very close right there. Just literally 1 HP on the Valkyrie right there. Able to get that final kill out. Even getting the pickup on the teammate. Just to be sure. You never know if there's like a hidden claimer somewhere that will be ending your career. And right now, 0-4, Cloud9 are in the lead. Cloud9 are very comfortably in the lead, and as they go back to kitchen service, this is the side where criticize Talon for not taking enough top floor control, for not taking enough verticals into their power, and we do see the mirror coming out again. So I'm almost going to guarantee you Cloud9 is going to be going for the exact same setup, and now I hope to see Talon actually adapt themselves to it.
Kitchen service kicking up a storm, 4 in a row, even after they took a moment to talk about what things were going wrong. And to be fair, Talon, it's the closest you've been able to get in that you got on the site, let alone put the diffuser down. It's otherwise been just gravitating around the sides, just unable to really break through into the hold itself. Success is what you can build behind. It's worth noting that would have been an ace clutch though. And those aren't really things you count as replicatable.
Just look at this attempt right here from Labyrinth, though. Able to pick up one. Going for the second one right here onto Maestro. And just a clean sweep around right here into the bullet hole a bit afterwards, after he secures that kill. Like, he was like, you know, the chances of him being here are probably 100%. And gets the pre-fire down. I just instantly did down, but he just wasn't aware of it, because otherwise he would have been a bit quicker on the plant, I reckon.
I didn't even notice that smoke was a down at first. It was so hard to see. It's the red outline against all of the brown. Similar.
It blends in quite well.
Blends in. Sneaky. I was too focused on the Valk moving around. Other than with cool vibes, and, well, luckily for Valk, she wasn't. She decided to pull back, head to the bar, kept her cool, had a drink, put her feet up, waited for the plant, came back up, got a kill. I mean, it's simple when you
make it sound really simple.
I know.
But it was a 1 HP clutch in the meantime as well.
I did make it sound way simpler than it was. It was a great play, but it was also the closest Cloud9 have come to bleeding and losing out on a round, and it seems like Talon are going to make sure they keep the pressure hot. There it is. The opener has come their way. Static is dropped, I believe. That's the first time that they've gotten the opening frag. At least it's one of 2 potentially, as I forgot to write down one of the rounds. But either way, it's a big moment, a big play, and they're going to keep trying to capitalize on it. The stun comes out over the top. Here comes Aziz round the back stairs. The call goes out. They want to make sure that they can catch MV Taylor, who's pulled back to a position to hold anyone that gets too aggro. But in the meantime, Kanos finds Shael and Talon. They are putting the pressure on.
It's literally what I said. You need to take care of these roamers that are playing on the top floor, and that's exactly what Aziz is doing, picking up his double. Who else than him? The, well, also MVP according to many for Talon, really showing up huge in a couple of these games, which have resulted in a couple of points for Talon. Now again, 2 kills very early on, just clearing out these roamers, only leaving Nova down onto the actual side, almost going down, and will be going down to Soldier. Leaving only MV Taylor in the middle of the danger donut. It's literally vulnerable from every single angle you can imagine right here. There's almost no way he's going to be clutching this 1v5.
Can the man of magic do as he holds on and waits to hear the steady sledging of the site? A minute, they have so much time to set themselves up, but they don't need any of it. A flawless is the first round Talon have been able to play, and you would wonder how it looked so smooth for them this time.
You wonder, and then I think that the answer to it is just putting up the pace, putting up the pressure, and deciding to, for once, take control of the roamers with 100% commitment. Because what we've seen from Talon so far in the previous 4 rounds before they managed to finally win one was that they were a bit hesitant. Like they sent 1, maybe 2 members out. This time it was all 5. Everybody was hunting for these roamers, putting up some pressure, keeping the Vigil busy, allowing Azzy to come in from the side and quickly take him out with the MK14. You saw the same thing happen on the white stairs right there. Of course, he wasn't going to be able to pick up that kill as the rotate eventually came down, but they're just trying to keep everybody busy just enough for enough time so the cleanup crew of Azzy comes in and just sweeps them up. And right now, 5 people, and we're all very invested in taking care of the roamers, and that's exactly how they managed to take such a big man advantage so early on.
Gonna try and keep their cool here on Kitchen as they set themselves up for what seems like a bit of a similar hold. I'm curious to see if they go for a heavier extension up top, and obviously, you know, one of the changes there is the Vigil is gone, who was the first body lost. The Goyo is stepping up in a place of location of let's set up some stoic shields and defenses and make sure that I guess we can repel them with a little bit more calm. Were they overextending and were they punished because of it? This is their time to prove that. We saw them having a laugh, but Siege is serious business.
It is very serious business, especially if you keep into mind that Talon currently finding themselves at that 3rd place, and win here today against Cloud9 could actually elevate them up to a 2nd place, depending, of course, how the Cyclops versus Cloud9 match should go the next day. But Canis, he's starting it off strong again. Shah will drop. That's a 2nd time. Double kill again to start it off. Talon, really? Oh, triple kill. Hello, Canis. He's just coming in right there, being the true Ash main, killing everybody on his way. And that's exactly what Talon need. They need this round. They need it for the, well, momentum they can build. And as Azzy picks up yet another one, it's only left to Nova. Yeah, once again, alone in the middle of the site. Be able to pick up 1, but not more than that. Canis with a huge round.
Almost 2 flawlesses in a row. And the second happened within the space of about 15 seconds. They found the first and they pushed and applied pressure to make sure that they felt that they were wounded. Cloud9 couldn't get themselves back and capitalized as, well, I believe if the first timer was for Talon, this is probably C9's.
Yeah, and you know, Talon had a timer, weren't able to win the round on the back of that, but then completely overran Cloud9 in the 2 rounds afterwards. And now Cloud9 is like,
wait a second.
Okay, it's time to hold up.
Hang on.
What's happening? We were having fun. You guys had 2 kills over all these rounds, and now suddenly my arm is gone. Like, you're taking out a leg as well in the meantime. Let's see if we can put this all back together and make sure that we continue that lead, because Cloud9, they do not want to lose this game, because that is going to be putting them in a lot of trouble for next week, next play day Friday.
And that's it, is, you know, those 2 rounds, the comparison between them and the previous 4 that they had lost was applying themselves, was seeing that there was a problem, not trying to catch them in an intricate net and web and tie them up. It's coast, get aggro, get in, your Talon, you do it so well too. As we've just seen over those previous 2 rounds, they just stormed the keep, took the riches and got out pretty unscathed. However, now we find them as the defenders of the goods inside. Can they set themselves up and stop the shining knights in armor of usually top place and currently undefeated Cloud9?
It is what it said, right? Talon needs to play with a bit more confidence. They need to commit themselves towards the plan that they're going for, because in the first couple of rounds we just saw a lot of hesitation. Like, do we go for it? Do we not go for it? How long more? Like, how much longer are we going to wait to go for execute? And then you have these last 2 rounds, absolutely explosive. First, you have Azzy just running in, left to right of the building, south to east, up to north and west, just literally covering every single room you could find, picking up a couple of kills, and then you have Canis just jumping in the Sunrise Bar and then getting a triple kill on the back of it to start things off. That's exactly how you want to start off your round. It's exactly how you, well, want to be taking back the momentum right before the side swap. So Charles going to be trying to do the same thing, though, just entering quickly into the Sunrise Bar.
Yeah, they're trying to replicate the storm that they just suffered, and Well, they haven't found an opener, but they have found a lot of land, and, well, where's the site? Who cares? They're looking for bodies and setting themselves up to catch somebody on a rotation. Drop the cam. Gave the game away that they're close. Soldiers holding it from deep, and obviously the gate is going to give the game away as they try and charge through or take some health. It's steadily setting themselves up now. With the corner of the site that they've been able to capitalize and capture, Aziz finds themselves, they want to rebuff and rebuke and try and just strike back a little bit, but it seems like they're not 100% where the bodies of C9 are, and C9, well, they're happy to just push for now.
Indeed, and while Talon, it's okay. You do not have to take the gunfight straight away. You're the one that's on the defense. The timer is working for you, not the attackers. So it's okay to fall back and let them put some pressure. Let them work out where you've actually rotated to, just to hit them with that big bit of aggression we just saw in these last 2 rounds from you. Pushing over. So that's the bit of aggression we need, but we do not need it in the early round. You need to basically let Cloud9 do what they want to do, and then you hit them hard. And Soldier exactly doing that, taking out Yana as a Gemini replicator gone. It's going to be very difficult if these laser gates activate again.
Yeah, it's back up now, and they took a risk to try and get that shield gone. 6, so it tells that it is out of there. Canos finds Nova 2. That is both the bodies that were putting the pressure on the door taken off. They're aware of where Canos is playing as he rotates round. It's a dangerous position to be in because you can get peeked and picked from above. Instead, you rotate round and get caught inside the bar itself. You can see Shael is making the movements up top 2, takes care of Labyrinth and tries to put more pressure at round 90. There are some air jabs still set up from the potential rotation round the back, but it's the body inside luggage that might go unknown. Vigil is vigilant, finds Shael, puts the body balance back in their favor, and now it's just down to the Ash and the Derby.
Derby ready on the kitchen window to give some cover, hoping from the vertical angles. Well, the Ash is going to be the one with the diffuser. Are they going to be going for the actual execute play right here? They would, well, not really anymore because Static just dropped down, and who's that only up to Harper? 20 seconds, no diffuser in hand, needs to rotate all the way around up towards the bar, and surely soon they will find out. There's no longer anybody down onto the window right there, and indeed there comes the peak, there comes the gunfire. They know exactly where Harper is right now, and all they need to do is just wait out this time, not go for the peaks, don't take the fights. Of course, Soldier does it anyway, manages to get the kill nonetheless. Talon are going to be able to put themselves up on round number 7. That is one step closer again towards that equal scoreline that we really would like to see right now.
Don't do it, don't peek. What, you mean this?
It's always like that, right? When you're playing ranked as well, you see there's only 3 seconds left on the timer, 1v1, and you're like, don't peek, and of course they peek. If they win the round, they're a hero. If you lose on the back of that, yeah, that's a big if, I know. But yeah, sometimes it's just better to not peek. But if you are going to be able to get the kill, it's always better for your momentum, so to say. So, you know, there's positives to it.
Swap from the mirror to the Kaid is a bit of a curious play here, as I guess they're baiting the idea of these longer holds, this pressure setup. Kind of curious where the claws go and what they're going to be used to, I guess, stop and reinforce, really, with the lineup. Obviously, there's, you know, this is
heart breach.
Yeah, this is the site that we talked about having the potential of the lockdown. So it's not for hard breach because there's no hard breach on the opposite side. Maybe they were preempting a potential 6th, and the swap there, I guess, yeah, I'm curious where these claws are going.
I get the way it's being put down in that position because it will be denying the VIP angle. But again, that's only if there is a hard breach on board. And in the initial operator reveal phase, there was no hard breacher, there was no hard breach gadget either. Still decided to go for the code because you never know whether or not it is going to be necessary. It might have just 6-picked out, and on the back of that, you know, you never know if you lose the round due to the fact that the VIP wall opened up. So maybe it's a bit of safety. Maybe they decided, right, just being secure from that is way more valuable than picking another piece of utility that, you know, could actually be more useful if they don't bring Heart Breach. I don't know.
Waiting patiently with bated breath for a little bit more of that aggression from Talon as they actually strikes elsewhere at first, but there's 2 blue bodies here, and there's a Gemini. There's a swing. There's a little bit of a rotation in the game and a bullet hole, but we also saw the body before, held off currently by Canos. It's the Thinker that's on the window as they stack themselves up, and suddenly the two Talon players have to turn tail, tuck, and get out of there before they get dropped. More bodies, more opportunities, and finally one is struck. That was a mad dash across a very explosive battlefield, and they have been punished for it.
Have been indeed, and this is why we call this the danger zone. You have the opportunity to play on that roof, cut down a lot of these rotations, and well, sometimes we do see the Oryx blade coming in, very rarely though, because you can basically dodge these open sides in the side of the wall by jumping up those hatches. But nonetheless, Cloud9 able to pick up that first kill. That is the entry. That might be what they need to set themselves up to retake the momentum, stop Talon dead in its tracks, and allow themselves to maybe establish a little bit of control again. But not yet. Shao and that drone is going to be keeping sure that Soldier is not going to be moving from that position, because otherwise he will be taken out.
Now you can see the bodies stacking up on luggage side as well. They've got Wamai to try and figure out and pull and push away. There is a body underneath too. It's
small.
The hands of Static that finds one. Harper gets another. They don't quite catch it. There's a Wamai and there's a grenade close to the punch. There's another bit of utility burnt on a gate as they very quickly have to rotate their way back round. Soldier is able to lock down and find one more. There's not much Labyrinth can do underneath as the site is completely overwhelmed, and they find themselves underneath still, concerned of the Sunrise play and pressure, but with everything otherwise falling into the way of the site itself, it's just a matter of Cloud9 realizing it and trying to make it stick at this point.
Second smoke canister being used right there, and that's the takeout on Soldier. You see instantly that the adrenaline surge being popped and Nova going down for that plant. Was the biggest worry being that as soon as that adrenaline surge goes active, smokes deal about 50% more damage. And, well, Labyrinth able to pick up one kill, but was basically doomed to lose that one with everybody being boosted. Just the LMG. Look at that. Three guns just pointing at the same direction. One of them gets executed, but they still managed to get the kill nonetheless. And Cloud9 put themselves up onto that 5th round, one closer towards at least getting a single point, and that would be so helpful already for the next week, next play day. It's not. We have 2 play days this week. I keep on getting confused.
Last week of APAC. This week.
The last week. Man, it's over already.
And then
we're not ready to say goodbye yet.
That's all right. There's finals as well, I suppose.
Okay, yeah. Of course there are.
Not there yet, though. We're still on here. We're still on Blue Bar and Sunrise, and it's 5-3. And, you know, with a 4-0 start in the hands of Cloud9 to find ourselves this close and this kind of aggressive across the split of the turn of the 2 halves. Sure, it's now technically 1-on-1 in terms of the new half and the new game and C9's attack, Talon's defense. But Talon, they know that they've been able to pull back. They know that they've been able to claw back rounds previously, and they know how much this could mean in the grand scheme of things and how much it could shake up the top 4 and the top of the board. They still have work to do, and they're still going to try and do their best to get it done as they rotate, obviously, off to and off the site with the extensions of the shields. But what C9 did so well before there was they set themselves up to punish those 2 loose players of Talon.
And that's exactly what Talon started doing after round number 4. They were like, all right, guys, you know what? Let's just chase down these rogue players of Cloud9. They're just having fun and memeing us by picking up their players and, you know, QE spamming on the diffuser. We take them out. Let's just do that for a change. Let's bring the advantage into our hands. And now Cloud9 is like, well, 2 can play that game. We know very well how to do that, actually. We have been doing it for the majority of the stage already. Now we're going to be seeing whether or not Talon is going to be able to bring any aggression without being punished from either the roof or any of the other angles being created by these Cloud9 members, because Envy Taylor really coming in clutch right there in that round, able to pick up the first kill from the roof. So much more valuable than many might think.
Cloud9, they start their approach across in a similar manner as before, where they've set themselves up to catch anybody that was playing loose on the eastern side of the map, but nobody is around currently. They're still set on the idea and approach of Talon being aggressive. Back as the response, concern with the Vigil that's not making things any easier with how often that can trick up both levels with the, well, where really is he? He's rotating around the back of Billiards and might get cooled off here by Harper, who's found himself on Aqua to try and pinch from the opposite side.
Again, the worry being you have to think there is a smoke on the board, and this Cloud9's sole objective will be to try and bait out these smoke canisters as early as possible, or to try and kill that smoke. Meantime, though, you still have two members on the top floor right here. One of the Gemini replicators is going to be caught off, and tomorrow's spot is now going to be exactly now. The pre-fire will be coming down from the LMG on Harper's side. Not able to do much damage, however, as Tomorrow just chilling behind the reinforcement right there. Needs to get some pressure down from the hookah door, which is exactly happening right now. And Cloud9 really need to dig down if they want to get these two players out of their positions.
Tomorrow is entirely cornered and captured right now. He's doing his best, and well, that's pretty dang good. But at this moment, you're thinking, well, it's only really a matter of time. MV Taylor needs to be dropped by the defenders if they can have some safety of that swing. The flash comes through. There's the catch on the smoke, downed and dropped. That really isolates that single player. Tomorrow is found static. Was the man finally able to deliver on a double kill as Soldier swings up and finds Shael in and amongst the mess. A very bold and brave play, and has actually been able to punish them for it.
Able to get away with it indeed. Still has the 3 smoke canisters in pocket, and all that means that the adrenaline surge is a literal big risk to use now with 20 seconds left on that clock. Soldier aware of the position right now of that finger, quickly popping that smoke canister right there, basically making it impossible for them to go for the plant right now. 10 seconds left on the clock. Look at the utility being used. Multiple flashbangs. Oh, the grenade will actually get it down. That is going to be very huge right here, and as the smoke canister is going to be wearing off, they have the opportunity to go for the plant. It's a 2v2 situation now. Azzy needs to find the kill down onto the finger, but he fails to do so, and Canis will drop as well. Harper with a great double kill. It's going to be saving the round for Cloud9, putting them up onto match point. That is the 1-pointer that they need to at least be ahead of Cyclops, forcing them to go for a full win rather than an overtime win.
I mean, if you wanted anyone to be overwatching you at that moment in time, it's a big LMG, well worn in the hands of Harper. The Finker, as you said, was a risk with how close we were to the end of that. And, you know, that grenade, you couldn't have tucked yourself more into the corner. You couldn't have probably been unluckier. It wasn't a full red. It wasn't an instant drop. They were slightly injured too from the big risk play they took, getting up there and getting the drop on the single player above. So close to a huge clutch, but close doesn't cut it. 6-3. C9, they have 3 chances to lock it off for a full set of points. Talon, they need something from this game, but they also need to try and not get desperate, which is the big risk at this moment.
It is the big risk because they started to get some momentum back, Fluke. They started to overrun Cloud9. It went so well for them, and then they managed to pick up their first round of the defense straight away as well, just being 1 away from equaling the score. And Cloud9, they just picked themselves back up at that moment in time. They were like, all right, they like to play with roamers. Let's just play it very aggressively towards them. Make sure that we absolutely lock them down in the spot until we have the opportunity to collapse on 3 different angles on that one person. Make their lives hell inside a hookah, for example. And that's exactly what they did. Don't think Tomorrow's having much fun playing up there behind a reinforced wall, being pushed from the hookah balcony, from Aqua, also from the VIP hallway. It's really tough if you're getting stunned at the same time to get something done in that case. But nonetheless, Cloud9, they dealt perfectly well with it to put themselves up onto the match point right now. And this is part of why they are the best team in the region right now, because they are going to be able to deal with these, well, sudden surges of aggression of other teams and basically bring it back to their own gameplay to make sure that they dismantle that.
Here comes the approach, potentially for the final time, potentially as the start of a heck of a comeback, but either way, Talon have been able to thread 3 rounds before, not too long ago. They found some momentum, and it started in the dying throes of the previous half, and they really need to try and find some of that special sauce that carried them through to the aggression and the possibilities. The spinach in the can that gives you the muscles to take care of C9, who are holding deep angles. Pressure is coming first towards Tomorrow, as he's waiting for a little bit of a collapse, not playing and dancing and being a bit I guess, deceptive with the game. He wants to give it and say, well, here I am. Come and get me.
He's literally playing that bait right now. Like, come on, I'm here. I'm making myself known. Try and take me out. And it's exactly what Harper does. In headshot. Taking him off right there. Still with the LMG in hand. However, Azzy this time will be finding a reply early on. Making sure that it's not getting too far out of hand already. Even has a vertical angle to work with right here. Pings the laser gates that they're available to be activated again. And the grenade just manages to sail through right after it gets opened up again. But this forces them to use another piece of utility. And in the meantime, Azzy able to create himself a vertical hole to work with for these last 65 seconds.
Waiting for someone to try and slip through so he can just drop them from above. Static suffers first from that confrontation, put to half health by the start of an approach, but Harper was watching and waiting for the rotation around on the opposite side. Played the game well, and there's Static dropping Canos on the split suddenly. Only 2 Talon players remain, and there's a huge amount of time. There is a bit of revenge, though. MV Taylor dropped, he tried to set up on the opposite side. There is one more very important kill, and well, you know where the last is, you're gonna take him out with a shotgun. Talon find the first of potentially a comeback.
Very well played. Still see a bit of tension right there. Bit of a smile as well on some of the players. Managed to get that round off. Of course, Cloud9, everybody in the region looks up to them. They are the ones to beat. They are the benchmark at this very moment. And Talon have the opportunity to fight back, but they need to continue doing what they just did. It's okay to lose someone, but you need to go for a refrag. You need to find a reply elsewhere on the map in that case. And that is something they didn't do in the 2-3 rounds they lost there against Cloud9 straight after, well, they managed to build up some momentum. And it's up to them now to make sure that they are going to be learning from those mistakes and apply them straight away into this match right now, into these next 2 rounds, to force them to go to overtime, to force at least 1 point for yourself and potentially have 2.
Setting ourselves back up for this top floor hold. Hookah obviously went away from them, and they've kind of kept it at arm's length since it was a very good take from Cloud9. It was built upon the 2 bodies dropped on the opposite side. They put quick pressure towards the players that were caught running down on a pretty mad, like, gasp, run, sprint, escape away from the bedroom from 90, and, well, there was somebody with an Overwatch. Dropped 1, picked up the second with the pressure around the opposite side, and from then on, things were kind of out of the hands of Talon. They could try and clutch, but the bodies had taken Aqua, and they were looking for a little bit more.
I think the biggest worry right now for Talon is the fact that they are playing in the top floor again, and we know that NV Taylor is literally the ultimate flank watch so far this game. Plays Nomad, puts down all the air jabs, then proceeds to go down onto the roof just to secure any form of rotation that Talon might be thinking about as well. Really making sure that no one is going to be able to just freely run around the side as Canis tries to go for the gunfight, tries to go for the entry frag, but Harper escaping with his life right there. A little close to a headshot, but actually hit the shoulder 1 or 2 times right there. You can be lucky that he's still alive with the adrenaline surge. I do like, however, that Cloud9 is integrating the Finka, something we said we might not see much more since the departure of course, the teams that really brought it to APAC North. But it is being picked up by the top dog of the region now.
It's an operator here that had some it has some potential and utility. It's the cost in an aggressive map, obviously. It's the double-edged sword. As you know, you're going to be going up against the smoke for a lot. These are 2 teams that know how to use their canisters and often keep them until the dying throes of a game. But it's so quick to the punch. It's so pacey when you can apply yourself in, dig down, and try and pick up any bodies that are offered in their way. Here, we're seeing a bit of a different story so far. They've got the same control that they had before, but they haven't got the bodies to boot. They are finding themselves, I guess, playing in a similar way to how the opener of this went in the hands of Talon, where they got a lot of ground control, but without those bodies dropped, when push came to shove, there was just too much potential aggression and too much potential utility still on the board. Talking of, it's all burnt behind the man on the aqua bar as he hops in and hopes that he doesn't quite get caught, laid down, waiting for more presence. But look at the run out that's just come out from Office. Canos is able to find Harper on the overhang, and quickly that's 2 red bodies doubling down, and that is the player that they caught early last time, and that is the player that's caused problems here.
Very important one as well. You take out the man that has been crucial so much, and those charges, the adrenaline surges, are going to be off the board right now. So unfortunate, not in time to save tomorrow from the demise of the LMG that was being brought right there. But at least you're going to be able to even out the men count. Something I said was important. Talking about that, Shal able to pick up Azzy right there. Is going to be bringing it back towards C9. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, and even the smoking as they don't seem to mind, they're going for the secondary plant position and try to go for the execute.
Well, now we find ourselves in a 4 versus 2. Jaeger is underneath. They are aware of this. So is Labyrinth. So it's a lot of heading up the staircase, but they don't get any further. Cloud9 find themselves another 3 points. Stay unbeaten. There is the C9 thumb, and it's C9 win.
C9 thumbs up coming in. They managed to win it again after they, well, were able to turn the man count into their advantage. And instead of going for the default plant spot where verticals were created, they decided to, well, you know what? Let's just mix it up. We know that these people aren't on the direct side. They're not a direct threat. Let's just run a bit further, outrun and outgun the one that was actually in the site. With that, secure themselves around. If they would have gone for a potential default plant, that could have ended badly for them.